Hey guys, welcome back. Chris here again, fixing to talk to you about some movies. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I am, as always, because we get to talk about some flicks. Today we're going to talk about a classic anime film from 1985, Vampire Hunter D by Toyo Ishida. Guys, this has been a favorite of mine since I was about 12 years old. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but back in the mid-90s, the Sci-Fi Channel had Saturday afternoon anime. So starting about 11, 12 o'clock, they would always play like an anime movie or maybe some anime shows or something. And that was one of the first for me anyway, it was one of the first introductions into anime that I had before I ever got into Dragon Ball Z or Mobile Suit Gundam Wing or anything like that. I started my anime watching with Vampire Hunter D and Akira. Those are the first two animes I ever watched. And so recently, I have been wanting to revisit some classic animes, and the other night, I popped in Vampire Hunter D. I got the Blu-ray of it not too long ago, and man, that transfer is really beautiful. It is really nice. You know, if they ever come out with a 4K release, I'm going to have to upgrade to that because it is a really nice transfer on the Blu-ray. I can only imagine what the 4K will look like when and if it ever drops. But Vampire Hunter D is basically about, it's like a dystopian future kind of scenario on Earth where there's like mutants, vampires, werewolves, all this stuff is taken over, but it's also like high tech. Like Vampire Hunter D rides a cyborg horse, and, there's like laser rifles and stuff like that. So it's very dystopian, yet futuristic. It's, and D is he's a vampire hunter, and you don't know if he's really like if he's a mutant, if he's a you figure he's kind of like a half vampire, half human thing to begin with, but they don't reveal that until later in the film. And then they reveal some other secrets about him later on, and you're like, oh my God, especially when I was like 12 and they had that big reveal towards the end of the film about who he really was. I was like, holy crap, blew my mind, right? So my little 12-year-old mind was like, what? He's here, so it was cool. But, I mean, this has some of the most beautiful animation for the 80s, for the mid-80s that you'll see. I mean, it is highly detailed, highly graphic, I mean, we're looking at, people getting, they're expanding and exploding, and you're seeing the flesh rip and the blood spew out and stuff like that, and we're seeing werewolves like tearing people apart and like, strands coming with it, like blood strands and stuff, but it's all animated and it looks excellent, very artistic. The colors are amazing, everything is crisp. I absolutely love the film's artwork. The voice acting is, typical 1980s, high-pitched women and guys who sound real angsty and teenage, even though they're supposed to be, old gentlemen. So, typical voice acting, but it's still good. What really kicks it up a notch for me is the storytelling in Vampire Hunter D. I mean, we have a really good story where there's this vampire lord. He's hundreds of years old. He's taking over this village. He, demands sacrifice from people and all that kind of stuff. And D goes in there to take him out. And at the same time, protect this girl who he's kind of gotten attached to. And she's gotten kind of attached to D too. So, we're watching this, like, I guess, quasi-love affair take place. And at the same time, he's trying to fight back his urges as a vampire to, suckle on this chick's neck. You know what I mean? Like, he's fighting those urges. He's a badass fighter. You know what I mean? Like, he's always, like, he's really good, chopping stuff. He's just choppy, you know what I mean? Taking them down. But it's just such an excellent and classic anime. And I've always enjoyed watching. Every time I watch it, I catch a little nuance of something new. It has a sequel that came out like 18 years later or something like that, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which we'll get into in the next review. It's also excellent. But this one is the OG, as they say, this original one is a masterpiece of anime. Not only the storytelling, the artwork, the color schemes, the choreography of the fights, and the I guess cinematography of the way that the scenes are drawn. Not only do we get excellent combat and animations, but the backgrounds are incredibly detailed. They're, and they look amazing. They look like they fit where in the time period that we're supposed to be in this dystopian future. It's just an incredibly beautiful movie to watch. And to me, it's a historical film. It was one of those early animes, much like Gundam, because I think the original Gundam came out in the late 70s. So it was one of those original waves. It was one of those original animes that came over in that first wave to America, where people were like, in fact, I remember back in the day, instead of calling it anime, people were like, that's Japanimation. That almost seems vaguely racist now, doesn't it, to just call it Japanimation? I don't know. But it's like, that, those films were as I said, the first wave of influx of anime to the United States. And us, kids 12, 13 years old, we were eating it up, because not only were we hitting puberty and it was like, testosterone-fueled violence and stuff like that, but you got these big, buxom cartoon women running around, and, our little hardened-up minds are just, racing, so anime was like kind of a staple point for kids especially if you were a nerd, you know what I mean? Like if you were into Magic the Gathering or X-Men and comic books and stuff like that, like anime was your jam back in the mid to late 90s. And so, this, even though this was made in 85, I saw it in like 95, 96 on Sci-Fi Channel. So it had already been out like 10 years in Japan. But I fell in love with anime because of this movie, because of Vampire Hunter D and Akira. Both of them, complete classics, complete legends. If you haven't seen either one of them, you gotta check them out. Vampire Hunter D, 5 stars all the way. I give it 10 stars, double that 5. I mean, it is the magnum opus of anime from the 80s. Aside from Akira, because I think Akira is probably a little better with like the storytelling, but this is just an awesome, awesome movie. And if you can find it to watch it, if you don't own it already, check it out. If you own it, revisit it. It is phenomenal. 5 stars. Guys, I would tell you where to watch it streaming, but I watched my physical copy, like I said earlier. So if you can find it streaming somewhere, by all means, check it out. It's well worth it, as I said. But that's it for Vampire Hunter D. If you guys like the review, please like and subscribe. If you like my other reviews, like and subscribe, guys. But thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon with more. As always, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. God bless. Peace out. See you guys soon.